Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we will be big box store plant shopping at Lowe's off of El Dorado Road in Frisco, Texas. As always, please make sure you hit the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. If you like daily 1-hour plant shopping videos with a live premiere chat, as well as following me on Instagram at Grow Folds, that is the most fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me. If you have any questions about the plant or just want to interact with me in general, please follow me on Instagram, send me a direct message. I typically reply within same day. So I am actually just getting off of a 10-hour day at work, and I am going to this Lowe's, which is about 18 minutes away from where I am based at. And I just really wanted to go see what plants they had available. It is actually pretty cold. Again, we're getting a bit of a cold front out in North Dallas. That is where I am based at, but I love just going to all of these big box stores and showing you all this plant shopping. But before we get into that, I did want to invite everybody to the Cultivation Corner YouTube channel. It is a plant podcast show with Janae Simone and Stephen of I Live Plants. Please make sure you subscribe to the Cultivation Corner YouTube channel. We premiere videos every single Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard US time. We are on season 2, and I can't believe that we're already on season 2. Please check us out. We've been working really hard to get you some great plant entertainment, and we do have some merch.
Y'all see the shirts that we're rocking? I mean, isn't this fly? This is fly. See, this could be in your closet. You know what I'm saying? We are selling these limited edition Cultivation Corner sweatshirts right now.
Season 2?
That's right.
Season 2.
Season 2. Listen, if you want one, you better get up on it because, like I said, they're limited. So
send us a DM in the Cultivation Corner Instagram so we can go ahead and get that custom sizing.
That's right.
You could be like us.
That's right. You don't want FOMO on this one, you guys. You need this is what couture.
Cultivation Couture.
Cultivation Couture.
And well, I actually don't make it out to this Lowe's quite often, so this is going to be an interesting plant shopping video for me because I don't really get to this area of North Dallas as often. So we'll see what kind of plants they have at this location. I love going to Lowe's, Home Depot, and Walmart to go shopping. So you can see right over here, we do have quite a bit of a full lineup of plants. But before we get into that, I did want to just walk around the corner here and show you some of the plants. It looks like a lot of the Lowe's out in North Dallas are getting a lot of these pallets and shelves of Costa Farms plants. And we are definitely going to take a look at that. But I did want to walk out to the outdoor gardening section to see what plants they have available. You can see that it is quite full now. Looks like this Lowe's is actually running a sale on some of their annual plants. I'm going to go look at this. So it looks like they've got that orange variety of coleus plants. So we're going to take a look closely at the coleus plant right here. I had a huge coleus obsession last year. It was basically my obsession like I do now for Aglaonema, but this one right here is for $1.98. And what I love about this coleus plant is look at how beautiful that orange foliage is. This one is commonly found at Lowe's year after year, and you can see that the orange is pretty vibrant. I would say for coleus plants, they are more shade loving plants, so you have to really be careful about putting them in full sun unless they are considered a sun coleus. But it looks like you can buy 5 for $5. So if you want your set of marigolds, for instance, or all of these other flowering plants, it looks like not all of the sales are going to pertain to every single Lowe's. So I suppose if I wanted to get some of these plants on sale, I would need to go shopping at this particular location. And that's the thing about saving money at big box stores. You really have to go compare and contrast plant pricing. It's always a situation where you want to make sure that you are finding the best plant pricing. And that's the reason why I like to take you alongside daily to do plant shopping videos, especially at big box stores. Now, granted, I also want everybody to support small businesses and local nurseries. But if you don't have small businesses and small nurseries that sell plants, the only places that you can go shopping for plants would be a big box store like Lowe's. And I love going to Lowe's for that reason, because they are very consistent with their outdoor gardening section, as well as their indoor tropical plants. Even in the dead of winter, you will see some outdoor plants. And take a look at this gorgeous hydrangea again. So I love hydrangeas. I love azaleas. I love a lot of these acid soil loving plants. And you can see right over here, this hydrangea is gorgeous. I've just never been able to successfully grow them in my my landscape. I don't know if it's because I don't have enough shade to protect them from the hot afternoon sun, but hydrangeas are beautiful. Maybe it just gets a little too hot in North Dallas over the summertime, so I'm not 100% sure, but that is one of my favorite plants to at least admire and look at. And now we're going to go back into the indoor section right here, and we're going to take a look at some of the plants. I'm going to see if they have any new releases or any plants. So I'm just going to take some time to show you some of the exotic angel plants by Costa Farms. I know that we often see these, but I am curious to see if you guys can leave in the comment section what the plant IDs are for these specific plants. I mean, you can see right over here, this one is in an 8-inch plant, or actually 6-inch planter for $16.98. I really love the pink colors on it, and you can see that Costa Farms has really put out a bunch of trays of exotic angel plants, whether they are in a 5-inch planter or a 3-inch planter. We also have some hanging baskets. So this is an Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu blue pothos. I love the look of the Cebu blue pothos. You can see how gorgeous that silver foliage is. Here's the thing about the Cebu blue pothos. You have to make sure that you're providing it with a little bit more light than the average pothos plant, because it will become a little bit more leggy. It's going to actually shoot more runners versus actually producing foliage, and they're a little bit more thirsty than the average Epipremnum pinnatum. And then over here we've got a Sunny Star Croton. Although I thought this would be a Gold Star Croton. Either way, I love the yellow leaves on this. That it looks like somebody just splattered a bunch of yellow paint. Crotons have a very distinct coloration about them. Some people find it too jarring, but for me, I feel like all the colors of a croton bring me a lot of joy. It's just very vibrant. And then obviously we have an Epipremnum Aureum Golden Pothos. This one is for $5.98. This is in a 3-inch starter planter. And then over here in a 5-inch would be an $8.98. This is a Snow White waffle plant. And here's a little tidbit about the Snow White waffle plant. This was actually a sport variegated plant that was discovered by Costa Farms from the original purple waffle plant. And it's just really awesome that they've been able to create this new variety. A lot of new varieties are really popping out from Costa Farms, specifically pothos plants. So they've actually released like the lemon meringue pothos, the lemon top pothos, the green julep pothos, and I'm curious to see what other Costa Farms exclusive pothos come out in the years to come. I love Costa Farms plants, and the reason why I love Costa Farms plants is they really do offer a diverse selection of plants. You can see right over here we've got a Sunny Star Croton, for instance. That one is for $8.98, and then over here we've got a purple waffle plant. And like I said again, with purple waffle plants, they are very thirsty plants, so you have to really make sure that you keep the soil moist. You really want to water them a little bit more frequently. You do not want to give them long drought spells where you let the soil dry out completely and not water them. They really need to be on the more moist side, and that's the thing about these plants. I've shared this often in my videos, but I am an underwaterer. This one right over here is another Hydra Helix, or the correct way to say it is Hedera Helix, or English Ivy. This is the King Choice English Ivy. That one is for $5.98, and you can see this one is already trailing. It's got a really nice vine, very fine leaves. You know, that's what I've noticed about a lot of the Hedera Helix. What makes them interesting is not only do they have some interesting variegations, but even just the green forms have some really neat leaf shapes. Some of them are a little bit more narrow than others. Some of them are a little bit more round. And I just wish English ivy would be an easier plant. You would assume that English ivy would be like a common plant, which is, but it is one of those plants that is very challenging to grow indoors. Even a lot of plant influencers or content creators have noted that English ivy are just very difficult to grow indoors. I remember when Plantarina, Amanda even mentioned it in her top 5 houseplants that are difficult to grow. She mentioned Hedera helix. And like I said, again, this is another Hedera helix, or what you call a Hedera helix. This one is the Ingrid Liz ivy, and this one is almost like the King's Choice ivy, except it has variegated leaves. Beautiful plant. And for the plant foldies that created the Hedera Helix Challenge 2025, let me know if you're actually participating in the comment section below. And for those that are new to the channel, I mispronounce Hedera helix as Hedera helix because I was actually thinking that I was saying it correctly the first time, but then I had a plant foldy just politely let me know that that wasn't the correct way to say it. But then again, a lot of people ended up liking how I say Hedera helix, so it's kind of stuck around. And that's what's interesting about this plant community. You know, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. So if you don't know, the reason why I call them plant foldies is because this channel is about growing plants. So the grow fold, and then the foldies is basically because I used to make a bunch of origami ASMR videos. This was originally an origami channel that I pretty much transitioned into a plant shopping channel. So interesting how this YouTube channel has really evolved, and I utilize this channel daily as almost like a personal blog. I love to talk to all of the viewers directly. So as I pick up these plants, as I show you these gorgeous Costa Farms plants, I pretty much have blogged about maybe my daily life. And to me, it's really nice to just have this platform to where I could just talk to you guys freely, whether it's about whatever is going on in my daily life or just the plants that we're looking at. And you can see right over here, this is another type of fern that Costa Farms has. And it looks like a lot of the Lowe's, or the majority of the Lowe's, are actually getting quite a bit of Costa Farms new releases of houseplants, or at least a restock. You can see right here, we've got a classic coffee plant, and I've always thought about growing a coffee plant in my plant collection. I mean, just look at how beautiful the green is on this particular plant. Now, I've been told that coffee plants are quite easy to take care of. I don't really know a lot about the plant care tips for a coffee plant, so please leave in the comment section if you have any ideas on the coffee plant. And then you can see right here, we've got a chiflera plant, or what you call an umbrella plant. This is just the green variety. This one is for $5.98, and I'm just going to continue to pick up a lot of these Costa Farms plants, exotic angel plants. Let me know in the comment section if you've actually acquired quite a bit of Costa Farms plants. And it's just amazing to actually see the amount of volume and production that Costa Farms has, because you got to think there are so many big box stores, and they provide to almost all of the big box stores out there. I mean, you can see right over here, I actually like the look of this Dieffenbachia. This is a Dieffenbachia Amy, and when you look at this particular Dieffenbachia, it's got some really light foliage on the leaves. Now, again, with Dieffenbachia, they need a lot of bright, indirect light, higher humidity levels, if possible, and consistent watering, and then you should be able to grow this plant. It is a little bit more of a challenging plant in general, just because I feel like a lot of our indoor spaces are not really conducive to those types of natural environment for the Dieffenbachia. But needless to say, beautiful plant. It's a plant that can get fairly large. It is toxic though, so you do not, I would say it's not a pet friendly type plant. If you're pet is the type of pet that wants to nibble on things, that is definitely not a good plant to have around pets. So just forewarning on that. And I'm just going to keep picking up a lot of these plants right over here. We've got a plethora of different types of hanging baskets. I mean, you can see over here, we've got a Hoya compacta, or what you call the Hindu rope Hoya, for $20.84. And it's nice to see that we actually have a full hanging basket of Hindu rope, or the Hoya compacta, that is is another plant that I would say is really sought after by a lot of Hoya collectors. The only thing is, if you ever have a plant pest called mealybugs, that would be so challenging to get rid of because they hide in all of the grooves of the Hoya compacta. But needless to say, beautiful plant. Love the fact that Costa Farms just has them. And so we're just going to keep looking at some more Costa Farms plants right over here. And plant foldies, you can see that I picked up a lot of these hanging baskets by Costa Farms. A lot of these plants, if you've been following my plant shopping videos on a daily basis, you already are very familiar with these plants. You can see over here, we've got another Hydra Helix, or what you call the Hedera Helix. This one is the English Ivy, the asterisk English Ivy for $20.84. I am just actually curious to see how many Hydra Helix challengers are actually participating in the Hydra Helix Challenge 2025. Please leave in the comment section, plant foldies, if you actually have an English Ivy that you are trying to keep alive in your indoor space. Now over here, we've got an Epipremnum pinnatum Baltic Blue Pothos. This one is for $19.84. This is another Costa Farms trending tropical plant. It's another classic plant, and I love Epipremnum pinnatum. They are endemic to my family's home country, which is the Philippines. proud Filipino American here, and I just really hope that me being a content creator that does YouTube for plants, there is a little bit more visibility for the Filipino American community. So if you are Filipino, please say kamusta, mabuhay, and even leave comments in Tagalog in the comment section. I would really love that. Like I said again, I'm one of those people that are very much proud of my heritage, a lot of my cultural values of just being really close-knit family, loving the food that my parents used to cook for me as I was growing up, and obviously just the family values that Filipino Americans are still instilled with. I just am really happy that I can be one of those people that makes content and can be I can actually say that I am Filipino American. So like I said again, the Filipino community is a very close-knit community. So if you are Filipino American, or even if you are not and you really love the Philippines, say mabuhay in the comment section. And then right over here, plant foldies. Let's look at another Hydra helix. Now this one is another variegated type of English ivy, and the fascination of English ivy has always been for me the fact that they are just so challenging to grow indoors. Like if you take an English ivy and you put it outdoors in a shaded area and you water it consistently, it will become almost like an invasive weed, and it's not even in the ground. That's how vigorous English ivy will grow if you grow them outdoors. I always say whenever you grow a plant outdoors, it's kind of like injecting a bunch of nutrients or steroid into the plant, because literally plants that are just put outside, they just tend to be a little bit more vigorous in their growth. They're a little more healthy. And if you ever have a plant that is struggling or you're trying to rehab, for instance, with me, some of my aglaonema, for instance, may not do as well indoors, but when I put them outdoors, especially when it is mild, especially when it is springtime and the environment is just beautiful, they will just recover. And that is one of my biggest advice for anybody that is fighting a plant infestation on a plant, like a pest infestation on a plant. Just take it outside, spray it down with neem oil, spray it with water, and literally it will recover, at least in my opinion. So let me know in the comment section, again, plant foldies, if you've had those situations where you have taken a plant that was really struggling, put it outside, and pretty much left it alone, and then when you check back like a month later, it's like nothing ever happened to the plant. That is really one of my go-to plant pest eradication methods, is to just literally take the plant outside, obviously treat it with like neem oil spray, insecticidal soap, something of that nature, and literally the plant is going to get back in the groove and actually grow. But as you can see, as I pan away from this palette of plants, you can see there are quite a bit of plants, and I am really fascinated with this Pixie Lime Peperomia. Look at how beautiful the colors are on this particular plant. I really love the subtle streaks that it has as well. And I love light foliage, green plants that Costa Farms also produces. And I am just really impressed at the fact that Costa Farms literally has so many different types of plants. I'm so curious to see if they will actually produce more of the more rare and uncommon aglaonema, for instance, like the Aglaonema Crown of Siam, Aglaonema Lotus Delight, something of that nature. And as you can see right over here, I am now going to be looking at all of the other plants that are available. I love that this Lowe's has a unique way of displaying their plants. So they're putting a lot of their bromeliads, their more colorful orchids, all in this section. So we're going to take a little bit of time just to go pick up some of these plants. I want you to just relax and look at all of this beautiful foliage, as well as the gorgeous blooms. I mean, you can see these are Costa Farms plants, and Costa Farms really has it going on when it comes to just that mass production of plants. At least everybody has more access to these exotic and rare tropical plants. I wouldn't even say rare tropical plants, but definitely plants that you just wouldn't find unless you go to like a plant nursery, a plant shop. So it's easy to just be able to go big box store plant shopping at a big box store like Lowe's. You get some really good value and good pricing. And I would say if you are trying to manage your money, especially when it comes to like a plant, house plant hobby, I would recommend, shopping at a big box store. Clearly, you should always support local small businesses or businesses that are locally sourced. That's because we always want to make sure that we are doing that. But at the same time, you can also shop at a big box store like Lowe's. I really source a lot of my plants from different sources. Clearly, if you've been watching my plant shopping videos, I shop a lot at small businesses and local nurseries, but big box store is also where it's at. I feel like you can have a balance when it comes to that. I mean, you can see over here, Costa Farms has some more of these beautiful philodendron Birkin. Now, this one isn't as light or highly variegated, but it's still a beautiful plant. It almost reminds me of an aglaonema. I mean, the shape of the leaves, and you can see that there are several plants in this pot, and this one is for $15.98 in a self-watering planter. That is a new type of planter that Costa Farms has produced, and I really love it. So we're just going to continue to pick up some plants and, look at them, admire them, and I will try to show you the plant IDs as well. And I had to play the my favorite track that my friend Derek of DJBangBeats.com, You're the Beat, or You're the Sauce Beat is what it's called. And hopefully you guys can just jam to this music as I pan around and show you all of these gorgeous Phalaenopsis orchids. Phalaenopsis orchids is one of the more common orchids you will find almost any time throughout the year, and I am so happy that I was able to get a lot of these on sale for $2.80 whenever I went grocery store plant shopping. So like I said again, sometimes you just find the best deals, and at that very moment I was able to find some really good pricing for these plants. You can see right here, this one is a Dracaena Florida Beauty as well as a Phalaenopsis orchid. What a beautiful combination. I really love the Dracaena Florida Beauty as well, and let's just keep looking at all of these orchids. The thing about Phalaenopsis orchids is if you look at their blooms, they just all have different faces, which is really charming to me. And I'm just curious if a lot of our plant folies have actually grown Phalaenopsis orchids. And I am noticing that as I go big box or plant shopping, Costa Farms is starting to release a bunch of these Ficus elastica, or what you call rubber tree plants. This one is specifically the Ficus elastica Ruby. It's a beautiful plant, and you can see how it's got that reddish tone around it. $19.98, a really good plant pricing as well. And like I said, a lot of people will have their opinions about Costa Farms. Some people will say that Costa Farms might actually take business away from small businesses. But what I think is with Costa Farms is that they are able to provide a lot of these plants that may not always be accessible to the general public. There are still lots of places in the United States, for instance, that don't have a bunch of local nurseries or amazing local plant shops. So the only places that you'd be able to acquire plants is through a big box store. And the fact that Costa Farms has been able to get so many of these different types of plants readily available to the general public, I think that is a good thing. Like I said, again, there is a venue, a time, an audience for everybody. So wherever you want to go plant shopping, just know that you don't have to go plant shopping to a very specific source. For me, I get my plants from many different places. And one place that I get them from was obviously like a big box store, but then I also do a lot of my shopping at a place called Peta's Planters, my favorite plant shop in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and that is owned by my good friend Lupita. If you haven't seen her the plant podcast I'm part of called The Cultivation Corner, season 2's season opener actually features Peta's Planters and Lupita's story on how she started her small business. And speaking of small businesses, one thing I will say about small businesses is that you would often see more rare orchids. This is quite interesting that Lowe's actually has Vanda orchids, $36.98. And what I love about the Vanda orchid is obviously the structure of it and also the aerial root. So with the Vanda orchid, it does not need to be in an orchid bark type substrate. It is supposed to be like this, where it's on like some type of crate, a cage, because the roots actually get its water from the ambient air, from the atmosphere that it's in, and it is another beautiful type of plant. The only thing about Vanda orchids is that they need quite a bit of bright indirect light. They're not as tolerant as compared to, say, the Phalaenopsis orchid that a little, thrive with a little bit more neglect. I mean, you can see right here, this is a specific cultivar. $36.98 is not a bad price at all for a Vanda orchid. And I'm curious if anybody actually collects orchids. If you have Vanda orchids, please leave that in the comment section. You already know Plant Foldies, I enjoy all of the engagement you guys give me. Like, for instance, if you made it this far into the plant shopping video today, first of all, thank you so much for still tuning in, watching my videos throughout my commentary. Please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. I already know that I repeat myself multiple times. Some people will say, Richie, you are so repetitive. Yes, I am repetitive, and yes, I am going to be repetitive because that's really who I am as a person. I am a creature, a creature of habit is what I'm trying to say. And there are some times where I just really want to make sure that I get my point across, whether it's me talking about Hydra helix or Aglaonema, or pressing the thumbs up or like button. But seriously, Plant Foldies, I really appreciate those that always continue to watch my videos during the live premieres, but more so for those that always tune in and chat with me in the live premiere chat. So I hope that at some point, everybody who discovers my YouTube channel and actually gives me that time and investment to listen to me, I hope that you actually jump into the live premiere chats and actually chat away. I did want to shout out Evelyn, Leap, and some more of my Plant Foldies. I know that I was shouting out a couple more of my Plant Foldies from my other video. Don't feel like you were left out. It's just that there are so many Plant Foldies that I would really have to take down a list at some point and really just give everybody a shout out for being on the live premiere chats and chatting away. And then also to Kathy again from Canada. She is literally on all of the live premiere chats, but more so Kathy, I have to give recognition to Kathy from Canada. She is always commenting in the comment section. So Kathy, I really appreciate you. I hope all things are going well for you and continue to represent the Canadian Plant Foldies. I love my Canadian plant foldies and all of my international plant foldies. I wish you guys had big box stores like Lowe's and you had like nurseries like Costa Farms that can provide plants like this. This one is an Aglaonema Maria, for instance, for $15.98. And we are approaching and looking at a beautiful Aglaonema Red Siam, and this is one of the my YouTube channel's official plant mascot per se. It is one of the most common Aglaonemas you will find, but you know what? Needless to say, it's still a beautiful plant. I was actually shopping the other day. I didn't get it on film, but there was somebody that had recognized me from my YouTube channel, and they mentioned how me talking about Aglaonemas gave them just a second glance, and they didn't realize how beautiful the plant is. So it's stories like that that actually inspire me and continue to push me to make daily plant content. Right now, I'm actually on a pretty good groove in terms of just really churning some good new content for y'all. I know that you guys are always seeing some Costa Farms plants or just me at a big box store and seeing all of these hanging baskets. For instance, like this strawberry begonia hanging basket for $16.98. But I think it's really more so just being able to see plants in motion, being able to pick up plants as if you were the one going plant shopping at Lowe's. I will say I've been better at actually not buying as many plants. There were times where whenever I would actually create content, I would want to just buy all of the different types of plants I picked up. These days, I kind of just, with caution, tell myself that, for instance, this Pothos Green Jula, for instance, I wouldn't necessarily buy this plant because I bought this plant about a couple of days ago. It had a really interesting sport variegation, but you know, there are some plants that I wouldn't mind buying multiples of, and that would be like the Pothos plants, which actually gets me to another point. Plant foldies. Are you the type of person that can have multiples of a specific genus of plants? Leave that in the comments section below. And I did want to mention for those that are diehard plant foldies as well as Cultivation Corner Plant podcast fans, know that since the airing of this particular video, we will be doing live selling on Instagram on Peta's Planters. So if you are not following Peta's Planters on Instagram, please follow Peta's Planters and tune in for the live selling, where we will be selling a lot of rare and uncommon plants, your favorite new varieties of Aglaonema on Peta's Planters. She can ship. You can also check out all of her plants at petasplanters.com. Definitely check that out. And I hope you can support us and watch our live selling on Instagram. I believe it will be this Tuesday. So check that out. And I'm just going to keep picking up all of these Costa Farms plants. Let me know what your favorites are, any care tips, any insights that you can provide for the plant community on this YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it. The other day I purchased an absolutely stunning Aglaonema Golden Bay, but take a look at this. I have never seen this big of an Aglaonema Golden Bay ever. This is in a 14-inch planter by Costa Farms, and I just wanted to take the time to show you this. I believe this plant is, I think, $68.98. When you really think about how massive this is, not only is it about to bloom, but it's got so many plants packed into it. The leaves are large, and for this particular Aglaonema, it is going to be one that is easy to care for because it is low light tolerant and drought tolerant. Would you buy this massive monster of an Aglaonema? This is an Aglaonema Golden Bay. Again, this is actually only $64.98. $19.98. I was really, really tempted to purchase this, but I just don't have the space to keep this Aglaonema. That is such a large Aglaonema, but it's such a beautiful one. And can you believe that you can actually find something this massive at a big box store like Lowe's? If you really think about the size of the plant, how big it is, how healthy and lush it is, that is such a good plant price for it. And so that's the reason why, again, Costa Farms is really one of the biggest nurseries that leads in terms of just being able to provide very cost-effective plant pricing. I may eventually go back and buy this plant. Like, it's one of those things where, number one, I already know I have a plant addiction, but number two, I have a legitimate Aglaonema addiction where I will just buy any type of Aglaonema I run into, even if I already have the Aglaonema, or if I have very limited funds, I will find ways to where I could justify buying another Aglaonema. I don't know what it is about the plant, really. I think it's really, a lot of it has to do with it just being such an underrated plant. I've always been the type of person that wants to root for the underdog, and I would just say, of the plant world today, I would say Aglaonema are definitely one of the underdogs, one of the more underrated plants, and I am on a mission to really get everybody excited, to get everybody to celebrate how beautiful that plant is. And so that is a massive plant. That is the largest Aglaonema Golden Bay I've ever seen in person, and I was glad to be able to find it from Costa Farms. So I'm just going to keep panning around here. Let's admire how beautiful this plant is. You can see how massive this Lowe's is with all of these large foliage plants and just how many Dracaenas they have. This is the lone Aglaonema Golden Fluorite for $19.98. Hopefully, Costa Farms will release another type of Aglaonema very soon. This is a trending tropicals plant. This is another one that I would recommend. Look at how beautiful the colors are. And you can see that this has like a peach tone on it. And then it also has green and also red veining. That's the reason why, like I said again, if you are a plant foldie, if you are somebody that has recently discovered my plant shopping videos on YouTube, please buy yourself an Aglaonema. I'm talking to you. Yes, you the viewer, please buy yourself an Aglaonema. Add yourself an Aglaonema Silver Bay. Get yourself an Aglaonema Golden Bay, an Aglaonema Red Siam. Or if you are wanting to get some more of the rare or uncommon Aglaonemas, go to greenspaces.id, which is an Indonesian nursery that you can actually get plants from overseas. They have some amazing ones. Now over here, I am going to just show you a couple of these philodendrons. So I finally figured out the philodendron royal family. So this one, it has green stems and petioles. That is an philodendron white wizard. So this is a white wizard right here because the philodendron is mostly green with a little bit of white on it. That is what you call a philodendron white wizard. And so we're going to also look at what else they have here. I believe that this one right here that I'm about to pick up is a philodendron white knight. Notice how the stems and the petioles have more of a caramel or brown tone with white. That is a philodendron white knight. Now, if it were to be a philodendron white princess, it would have that dark maroonish tone to it. Like that, and it also have some pink margins. So that's how you can tell the royal philodendron family. Thought that was really interesting, and I finally got it together. And then we've got an Epipremnum pinnatum Baltic blue here, $19.98 in a self-watering planter by Costa Farms. And you can see plant foldies, all of the different types of self-watering planters by Costa Farms. So I picked up some Aglaonema. We've got some Dieffenbachia, and let's take a look at this. So these are urban jungle plants, $19.98. This one is a Sanseveria whale fin. This is a whale fin snake plant. Love the look of it. Look at how massive that is. Super cute. I would consider this more of a structural type statement piece plant. Look at how simplistic it is, and you can see that urban jungle has really elevated not only the plants that they have but also their planters. Now there is a live transplanter and whale fin Sanseveria that I'm going to show you in just a bit. I actually want to ask the plant foldies what they think of that, and then as I pan around over here, you can see that there are a bunch of hanging baskets. Live Trends Planters has another type of ceramic planter. This is my favorite pothos plant. This is called a neon pothos for $16.98. I love the look of that, and you can just see how it's got that neon yellowish greenish tone to it. Now more bright indirect light is going to make it more of a yellowish tone. It's going to be brighter, it's going to be more vibrant, and that is a prime example of a specific plant that is really influenced by the amount of light it is given. There are certain plants that are just genetically predisposed to giving better variegation or coloration despite the lighting conditions, but I know pothos plants, they definitely thrive with more bright indirect light to get that type of coloration. And you can see right here, these are the new live transplanters. I honestly prefer the look of this planter. It's more structural, more modern looking, and I'm actually going to show you this $24.98, and I'm just going to show you side by side what that looks like next to the urban jungle plant Sanseveria and the planter. Let me know in the comment section whether you would buy the Live Trends plant on the on the right, or the urban jungle plant on the right. I would really just want to know your plant preference, your plant aesthetic. So please participate and leave that in the comment section below. Left or right, which plant would you buy? And I'm just gonna show you the fact that there is another Aglaonema Maria over here for $15.98 right next to a Spathiphyllum. And I just wanted to put all of the Aglaonema down. So these are more of the green varieties, the more common varieties. That one is an Aglaonema Maria again. And then take a look at this. This is an Aglaonema Silver Queen. And I actually was tempted to buy this. These are the urban jungle Aglaonema that just have been recently released. This one has more of a narrow leaf. It's got a lighter green tone. When you start comparing it to, say, the Aglaonema Maria, I probably should have bought this Aglaonema. This is one that I don't have. I love the fact that the leaves are a little bit more narrow. It's got more of like a striping type pattern on it. And I just love the subtleties of this particular Aglaonema. What a beautiful one. And guess how much it was? It was only for $15.98. It was in a 6-inch self-watering plant, or not a self-watering, terracotta planter by Urban Jungle. So kudos to Urban Jungle Plants. You can see right over here, that is the Aglaonema Silver Queen. This one I have never seen at a big box store, and it looks like Urban Jungle was the first one to really push out this new type of Aglaonema. And then you can see over here, that is an Aglaonema Silver Bay. That is the most common Aglaonema alongside the Aglaonema Red Siam, which is further down there. I'm going to show you that, but I'm going to go ahead and just pick up these plants and just have you admire the foliage. Like I said again, if you are watching my videos, I will 150 billion% talk about Aglaonemas, because look at this. Look at that. That is already 3 Aglaonemas. Look at how beautiful your plant collection would be if you added Aglaonema into your plant collection. They're easy to care for. They are drought tolerant, low light tolerant, and absolutely stunning. You can see that these are more of the green common varieties, but look at how thick and lush this particular Aglaonema red Siam is. The thing about Aglaonema that I've realized is they do not like to stay wet. You don't really want to get their leaves wet or keep them wet because they are a little bit more susceptible to fungal diseases. I know that with the more fancy Aglaonemas, especially the ones that you get overseas that are a little bit more colorful, tend to get that. So keep them more on the drier side and they will be just fine. I would totally buy every single one of these Aglaonema, my Aglaonema Silver Bay, Aglaonema Silver Queen, Aglaonema Maria, and obviously the Aglaonema Red Siam. What a beautiful combination of these plants, and they just make perfect low light tolerant, fuss free tolerant type plants. So if you haven't already, go ahead and go to a big box store and buy this Aglaonema Red Siam, for instance, and that one has a really nice pop of red. More bright light will actually push out more of the red borders and margins, or at least that has happened in my opinion, in my experience. Some people have said that their Aglaonema Red Siam isn't as red. It's not necessarily supposed to be red. It's just supposed to give you some red margins, but it does have those types of mutations that it can actually push out a little bit more red with the light. And you can see that I am just gonna keep admiring those Aglaonemas. Now, as far as this particular Lowe's, I wouldn't say that this Lowe's is the most restock or full Lowe's, but they have quite a bit of healthy looking plants. I did notice that there was an employee watering the plants, so that's always a plus when you know that the big box store employees are attempting to take care of these plants. And you can see this, just how healthy the plants look at the big box stores. You know, a lot of people will say that big box store plant shopping is actually very risky because you end up buying a plant that could potentially have a plant pest. I say whenever you buy plants from a big box store like Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, Costco, somewhere of that nature, just assume that they could potentially have plant pests, and it's not because they came from a nursery that had pests. It's just that the amount of people that are looking at these plants, the stress that some of these plants might have received from traveling from the nursery where it was like perfect growing environment to a big box store, it can really shock the plant, which makes it more susceptible for them to get attacked by plant pests. So I would just say, if you do buy a big box store plant, you have to spray it down with Captain Jack's insecticidal soap, which is available to buy at most big box stores, or neem oil spray. I always spray my plants, and I've noticed that since I've done that this past year and a half, almost 2 years, I haven't had any issues with any plant infestation. So that's just some of my care tips as well as advice when it comes to buying plants, or after you've gone plant shopping, is to definitely spray them down with like neem oil spray or an insecticidal soap to minimize the potential of plant pests when you actually get a new plant. But anyways, I am now showing you the Live Trends plants here. These ones are for $14.98. Love this philodendron moonlight and just all of the plants that Live Trends has. They just have a very modern vibe. I really love the fact that their plants are typically super healthy, and just the planters alone just make it worthwhile for you to buy Live Trends plants. So we're going to go ahead and look at some more of these. I am definitely a huge fan of urban jungle plants, and as I pan away over here, you can see urban jungle plants, live trends plants, and I'm just going to keep spinning around here just a little bit more to show you some of the plants that they have available. Like right over here is an Epipremnum aureum, marble queen pothos, beautiful plant. This plant does need quite a bit of bright indirect light for it to really push out that beautiful cream variegation. Pothos plants, just like Aglaonema, if you are going to call yourself a plant foldie or somebody that watches my content, please buy yourself a pothos plant. It doesn't matter if you are a very experienced plant collector, get yourself a pothos plant. Everybody needs one because they are very stable, very easy to grow plants, and they're not going to give you a lot of hassle. So go ahead and, create a plant collection that is not going to bring you stress, because plants are definitely plants that need to go ahead and actually give you a positive influence. And for me, if you're going to pick up a plant that is going to be a little bit more stressful, in a sense that you have to water it more, you have to provide it with more bright light, and you're actually putting way more effort than what you should be doing on a daily basis, I always tell people to kind of reevaluate your priorities. For me, I have definitely pivoted to more of an easy care type route where I'm not buying plants that are actually needing a lot more care. Hence the reason why I have bought Aglaonema, pothos plants, and some more of the more easier plants. Like this zebra plant is actually a pretty plant, but it is a little bit finicky. So this is another plant that I would not spend money on, at least for my personal collection, just because I know that I'm not going to be able to give it the care that it needs. Now, a Sanseveria moonshine, and this is another easy to care for plant. Any Sanseveria or snake plant is marketed as an easy to care for plant because it is very much drought tolerant and low light tolerant, which are two critical plant characteristics whenever you're trying to identify a plant that is easy care. So I always default and tell people, if you are looking for easy care plants, I would say number 1, Sanseveria, number 2, pothos plants, and then number 3, my favorite, which would be an Aglaonema. But as you can see right here, I'm just picking up all of these plants. This one is for $13.98. This is a Philodendron Red Imperial. This is a Red Imperial, beautiful philodendron, easy to care for as well, and that is by Urban Jungle. And as I pan around here, I'm just going to keep showing you all of the different types of plants that they have available here. I will say this particular Lowe's may not be as organized or as full or massive for plants, but they still have quite a bit of quality plants. You can see right here, this is an Epipremnum aureum, Enjoy pothos, and I love the look of this plant. This one would actually not revert even if you give it lower light conditions, because that plant for some reason has more stable variegation. But $16.98 by Live Trends Design, beautiful pothos plant right over here. say it's really fun to just go to Lowe's. I never get tired of actually looking at Costa Farms exotic angel plants or Costa Farms plants in general. I think the plant pricing for Costa Farms ranges from $5.98 to $8.98 to $15.98 to $16.98, and in like this 8-inch hanging basket would be $20.84. So a lot of cost-effective plant pricing when it comes to Costa Farms plants. I am just curious if you actually have quite a bit of Costa Farms plants. They have large foliage ones, they have trending tropical ones, they have easy to care for ones, and even combination planters. I mean, take a look at this beautiful Dieffenbachia varieties. Now this one right here is a live trends plant. This is the Statue of David, or at least the head. What an interesting looking planter. It's not one I would add to my plant collection, but it is pretty quirky, and quirky is good. Quirky means you have a little bit more personality. I would even tell myself that I am pretty quirky. I mean, hence the reason why I have my own little eclectic taste, I suppose, with plants. And just showing you these, I just can't believe that Plant Foldies, I am still at it in terms of making these plant content, daily plant shopping videos. It is a lot of effort, but I am inspired. I want to work even harder. I'm hoping that our plant community grows through just the viewership, but also through your engagement. So if you made it this far into the video, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up and like button, as well as leaving comments throughout the video about just plant insights, because that really does drive engagement. And as I finish off this video, I did want to pan around here and just show you how gorgeous this Aglaonema Silver Queen is. I probably should have bought this plant. It's a pretty healthy looking plant. It's a very elegant looking plant. That's another adjective I would say about Aglaonemas, that they're very simplistic but very elegant. Sometimes less is definitely more, and when it comes to Aglaonema, that is my my go-to in terms of that particular plant. But I am just going to spin around here and just show you the rest of the plants here. As always, if you like this type of content, please press the thumbs up or like button for this video, as well as subscribing to my YouTube channel at Girl Folds. This is Richie. I definitely enjoyed showing you all of these beautiful plants, especially that massive Aglaonema Golden Bay. Subscribe to my YouTube channel with all the notification bell on. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.